Hi everyone, welcome back to our show. I know it hasn't been the three of us for a while, but we're glad to be back together. I'm Kobi.
I'm Leighanne.
I'm Charlie.
And today we're going to be sharing some of our favorite college memories since me and Leighanne are seniors. You're a junior, but still a lot of memories in there. And then at the end, we're going to share some advice on how to make great memories in college as well.
Let's get started.
All right.
Does anybody have a good one?
Charlie.
You want me to go first? Okay. Put me on the spot. Okay, so I guess a lot of my memories kind of stem from that friend group that I had freshman year, and I got really lucky that I was in a really good hallway, and because it was COVID, everyone was kind of eager to make friends because we had been isolated for so long. We had nothing going on, and so I was in Kennedy first, so the slums, but no, it was great, but it was. Essentially, all of us really became friends over the fact that it was there was nothing else happening. And I got, like I said, I got lucky because a lot of people in our hallway were on the wrestling team. And so they were all in a group, and my roommate was on the wrestling team, so I kind of got adopted.
By default.
I got adopted into the group. Yeah. Just so.
Honorary wrestling member, if you will?
Maybe. I didn't have to go to the morning workouts, so.
Really
I
nice.
know, right? But no, I was their little foster kid. And but so we'd be on the weekends we'd be playing cornhole in the hallways till 2 a.m.
Your RA never got called?
No.
Okay.
No one really cared. We were all on one end of the hallway, and so there's a buffer from anyone else that was not part of the people that wanted to be doing that. But it was a lot of fun with that. So most of my friends now Logan, Connor. Sam, people that we would hang out with then, we all still
insert pictures.
Okay, shout out.
All
still
of you
see
friends.
them a lot. But so those are the people that when they turned 21, I went out with them. When we got back to school for the first time each year, we kind of oh, I want to see these people, and so it really we all kind of came together over the fact that it was well, there's nothing else going on, might as well hang out with each other.
Might as well hang out in the hallway and play cornhole and whatever else.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, some stupid things happen that probably I don't know. It was kind of all over the place at times, and then other times it was well, this is actually stories I can take home.
Of course. You learn from it and you live from it.
Shout out college for our
Oh, yeah.
lifelong
Shout out
friendships.
college.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
Kobi, do you have a story?
I'm gonna save my best one for last, so hopefully nobody takes it. But I'll go ahead and just say cheering my first game on the floor at Freedom Hall, because my freshman year we were in the rafters for COVID. We were literally in the top where nobody else was. Nobody could see us. Nobody could hear us. So I really didn't get the experience of being a college cheerleader. But the first time that we actually went to Freedom Hall and I'm on the sidelines of, a men's or women's basketball game, it just finally was wow, this is
Super
real.
cool.
This is a real.
I'm not in high school anymore.
Yeah, I'm not in high school. This is real college. D1. It's crazy. It was just really fun, and then just being that close to a D1 team, you never get to do that. So I think that was really fun. It was just a really I don't want to say eye-opening, but almost eye-opening experience.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, I'll share a story. I don't even have a story. Well, when I was a freshman.
Back in the olden days.
Yeah, it feels very long ago. Right before COVID, because I had one semester, and then we went into shutdown and everything.
Woo.
Yeah, I took a really, really hard history class. Well, I thought it was really hard. It wasn't, but I struggled. And it was Professor Fott, who was super cool. Do you guys know who that is?
I don't know.
He was super cool. And I just was not a great student, and it was really hard. And so I learned from that, and sometimes when you're first experiencing college and you want to go out and have fun with your friends, sometimes you really gotta study for your history test.
Yes, big advice.
Oh yeah.
As much as it's so much fun to be able to actually have the freedom to do what you want, put school first, because you're gonna regret it if you don't. Because if you flunk out of school, then you don't get to do what you want at school.
Oh yeah.
So
came really close to doing that.
Really?
Oh
How did
yeah.
you get out of that?
It's a real long story that I threaded the needle on a few things, but I don't know. All through high school, I was always okay, gotta do school, gotta do this, and I get to college and I'm that sounds like a fun thing to do this weekend.
and I'm gonna do it.
You
And
know
I'm
the
gonna do that.
craziest thing about college is that you go from a rigorous like 7 a.m. like get up at 6:50 in high school,
Yes.
go
And
to
it's like,
school
that
all
feels
day.
normal.
And then you go to practice probably after.
Yeah.
And you're like gone from
And
like
then
7 to 5 or something.
You go to
Literally.
college and you have 2 classes and it's
Like, man, that 10 a.m. sounds real hard.
yeah,
10 a.m.
it's
is
exhausting.
rough.
You take a nap in the middle of the day and
And then what?
you still skip your class later.
And you're still
Not skip, but yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
You take a mental health day?
I take
Well,
lots of
actually,
mental
another
health
piece of
days.
advice
That
is that
is-
mental
yeah.
health days are very important, and don't
It's
be
true.
afraid to take them when they're actually for mental health, and it's
Mhm.
not an excuse just to skip.
Yeah.
Use them wisely, because your professors will catch on.
Oh, yeah.
That's another piece of advice.
Thanks, Kobi, for your advice.
The advice queen. Just kidding.
I mean, that's the other thing. Like, listen to your friends on like what's
Yeah.
working for them,
Yeah.
because, I mean, you might be doing something that's not working, but then there's Susie B over there that's doing great.
Good old Susie
Good old
B.
Susie B. Always seems to have the answers.
I know, I could never figure that out. How people can like get up for an 8 a.m. class after like being crazy and having
Mhm.
fun, because
Yeah.
I still can't do my homework or take a test or do well on it after going to bed at 9 o'clock at night. So
Yeah, it's just really hard sometimes, I feel like, finding the balance between, like, having fun, because that's a big part of college, is like having fun and making memories, but also like
Mhm.
getting your degree, like that's the whole point.
right.
And getting like actual sleep makes such a difference.
Oh yeah.
Like, you're gonna
Sleep
wake
is
up and
so
still be
important.
tired, and it's like, my bed, even though it's
Mhm.
a brick, feels so nice right
Honestly, most of the time, if you just like, I know it, the worst part is literally stepping out of bed, but once you're out of bed, you're just like, oh, that was not even.
now. The
I'm
number of
fine
times
now.
that I'm like mentally bullying myself. Get out of bed now.
And then I get up and I'm like starting to like get ready, and I'm like, I'm
It's fine, yeah.
ready to rock and roll.
Did you all ever like go like? Do you remember how big of a deal late night breakfast was?
I
freshman
still
I
a
never
big
went.
deal.
I haven't
You
late
been.
night.
never
I
went?
haven't
You've never been to
been.
late night
I
breakfast?
haven't.
I've gone to every late
I've
night
always been
breakfast.
busy. There's always
Wait,
something
what do you
like.
mean? You guys don't still go to late night breakfast?
I mean, I don't like. We don't. Since I moved off campus, I don't have a like a.
It's free for
You
all
don't get a-
students.
Really?
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
why I
even
still
know
go. I
that.
went to every one. Last year, the seniors got to sit in their own little like that little UDH part,
Wow.
and they had free mimosas. I obviously didn't get one because I'm not 21, but they did have free mimosas for like those who were 21, and you got to sit. And we watched like the after
Sign
movies.
me up.
You're not a senior, so you aren't invited.
There you go.
But we watched like the after movies that were on Netflix, and like it was cute. We had our little section.
You're like in the back room.
Yeah, and the food is so good. Like
They go all out. It
I
always
love.
looks
I
great.
personally
look,
love you.
fire truck.
Anyways,
Kennedy. That's the other thing. Kennedy fire alarms.
Oh my god.
Be ready for
I've
it.
never lived in Kennedy, so
Really?
you don't want to speak on
Oh
that.
my gosh.
Oh my
You
god.
got it.
I just like. I remember the fire alarms got so bad that like you would just sleep through them. You would just like
Yeah, I
lay
did
in
that.
bed
I
like,
did that.
oh, there it goes again.
It's fine. Somebody just
Yeah.
made popcorn for
I
1
did that.
second too
Somebody
long.
Well, I mean, that-
straighten their hair.
Until the building's actually on fire, and it's
And
like,
then
well,
no one's
still
gonna know.
going
Yes,
to sleep.
this is terrible advice. Do
No,
that
I mean,
when you hear the fire
everyone
alarm.
leaves. Like, people do not stay there. It's always an accident.
But
I've never
most of
heard.
the time it's not on fire, but it could be.
Yes.
One day.
Well, no, one of my friends, I'm not going to call him out by name, but the people, like, he was in the shower, like, 4 different fire alarms would go off when he was in the shower. And his room was right next to the bathroom, so he just wouldn't bring clean clothes. It was all guys floor, he'd just go in his towel back to his room.
That's such a dude thing to do. Girls do not do that.
Yes, they do. Whatever.
We
but,
always brought our stuff.
whatever.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
the number of
bro,
times, the number of times that we'd be, like, out in the field, and he's just sitting there in a towel, like, still soapy. And it was like
Terrible.
12
That's
degrees
that
outside.
was my worst fear with communal bathrooms. I'm like,
Mhm.
what do I do?
I love-
The answer is go out in your towel if you don't have anything else, because
Yeah.
you'd rather go out in your towel than
Yeah. I think he did like put his underwear back on, but still, it's just a towel.
dirty.
It's better than being out there with nothing on. He can get back. He's gonna get back in the
Gross.
shower. Still has shampoo in his hair.
I guess that's true. I lived in Siena Secondo the one year I lived here,
Ooh.
and we only went through. I only dealt with a
Fancy.
fire alarm once, and I was driving back home from my friend's house anyway. And by the time I pulled up, I heard it going on, so I was not even inside and had to like leave.
I love dorm living. I thought it was so fun. Just like
That I guess that's another big piece of advice is if you can live on campus, like if you're able to,
It's fun.
please do it. At
It's
least
fun.
for a year, you'll get to meet a lot more
it's like meet
people.
all your
Mhm.
friends.
You get to make memories. If you want to stay late in Central and study, you can, because then you just walk
Well, and
down
it's such
the
like a
road.
mental difference. Like if you're going to your apartment or your house that's off campus.
Yeah.
For me, I know it's always been harder to get work done if I'm not on campus.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I'm not there. I have time.
Yeah, I feel like if I'm on campus, I'm like, okay, this is school. And then I go home because I live off campus, and I'm like, okay, this is my house, so I'm probably going to take a nap.
Yeah.
Did
So,
you guys
like,
get sick a ton?
I didn't, but also I came in
Like living in the dorms?
Not living in the dorms, but just like freshman year. I
Oh.
feel like I was constantly
Maybe you had
sick.
COVID
Probably.
before we knew what COVID was.
Well,
Probably.
but also like when we came in, everyone was wearing masks.
That's true.
So
That's true.
there wasn't as much.
I
stuff
also
going
am
on.
really prone to getting strep, so I get strep a lot,
Oh,
but that's unrelated. Just
Yeah.
it's just unrelated.
Do you have your tonsils?
Yes, they just won't take them out.
It's like
Other advice: get your
super
tonsils out.
painful.
What?
Like
I literally get strep like 5 or 6 times
then
a
you should
year.
definitely get them out.
They said no, I'm too old. I was like, I don't care.
Be like, but I
If you're
will
my
pay
doctor,
you money.
if you're my doctor, you're watching this, please.
Jeez. I guess that's coming up to the end. Is there any final?
Everyone, give your last final piece of advice that you would have for a first or
What
second
was
year
it
in
you
college.
said you wanted to say for last? Did you
Oh,
already
my
get that?
favorite memory?
Yeah.
ASUN! Winning the ASUN at
Oh,
first.
yeah.
I love it.
I figured we would all kind of mention that. I don't know.
I wasn't here.
I was
I
there.
didn't get to go.
I was there.
Guys!
I was on an airplane watching it.
Some like 6-year-old kid like tried to run me over. It was funny.
Good for him.
And then they're
Yeah,
like,
it
it was,
was
on
just, like-
everyone's shoulders.
It
like,
was
getting
just,
passed around
it
the
was
court.
our
It really
second
cool.
year D1. Nobody thought we could do it. We said, we're doing it. And we did it. And the way, like, I've just never felt so connected to, like, I don't even know how many people were there. A lot.
There's a lot of people.
A
It was the most
lot.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, and like just feeling so connected to everybody, and you just ran onto the court, we were all jumping. I was next to like Valor, and I was getting like crushed when we were jumping, and I was like, my shoe was about to come off. I was like, leave the shoe, you're not gonna get trampled
Fine.
today. But
School will get me more shoes.
they actually wouldn't, but we're not gonna get into that today.
That's
but
another story.
That's another time. But yeah, that was my best memory. So I guess one of my biggest pieces of advice is go to events on campus, sporting events,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
bingo, late night breakfast, like all the random stuff, like go, because that's where I've made a lot of my best memories, and that's how I've met a lot of people, and it's so fun to just sit in your dorm. So
I
go out and
agree
do
with that.
stuff.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. That's where so many of my friends came from.
Yeah, just go out and do it, and if you hate it, you never have to go back, but try it.
Look at you with all the advice.
I don't know how. I know.
Livia Lynn.
Well,
Cool, man.
that's a wrap.
Thank you all for
All right,
watching.
Thank you.
Wait.
You'll probably see the.
I have something to say.
Go ahead.
Uh,
You have the floor.
When you like and subscribe to Knights Media Network,
Ah.
leave a comment what we should talk about on our next
you go.
show.
If the 3 of us, or if you're super interesting,
Be
you
like,
tell
hey,
us, and you could be on our show individually.
there you go.
That's
But
what I
anyway.
say.
We will all see you next week individually, and then in a couple weeks we'll be all back together. So thank you for watching.
Alrighty.